This is Daily Flash with Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Broadcasting worldwide and streaming. Daily Flash. Today's talk, tomorrow's trends.
Everybody,
Hey, I'm Andrea Jackson.
and I am Mitch English, welcoming you to Daily Flash. We got today's talk, tomorrow's trends. So glad to have you here.
And you are a big part of our show. Sweet baby James joining us now with all the info on our socials. Hey,
Yes,
James?
you know, you can watch our show on more than 219 stations across this great country of ours, the American Forces Network, and all of our socials, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and all the great stuff. Now, I also want to tell you, if you want to contact me, you can email me at flash@dailyflashshow.com, or just go to our website to find out where we are in your neck of the woods, dailyflashshow.com.
Very nice.
All
All right, now
excellent.
you ready for
Yeah.
the question of the day?
Let's do it.
All right, question of the day. Let's have some fun with this.
Okay.
What's a decision you've made that you're really proud of?
Ooh, okay. Something you can be proud of. Boy, I have to dig deep sometimes, right?
Yeah. Wow.
Okay.
Okay, I got to think about that one. That's a good one, James.
All right. Well, if you can't think of anything right now, you know what you can do.
Oh, we can email you.
Email you. We'll give you some ideas.
That's it.
Okay,
Yeah,
I like that.
it. Thank you, James. Okay, you guys, I got to hear your take on this. This is fascinating
Okay.
to me. A new mom in Florida is suing an IVF clinic after claiming she gave birth to a baby that is not genetically hers.
Okay.
The lawsuit filed in Palm Beach County, Florida, claims the woman was a patient at a fertility center in Orlando and alleged that she was implanted with the wrong embryo.
Oh.
Now, according to court documents, the couple identified themselves as Caucasian in those papers. They started IVF treatment with the clinic March of last year. Early December, the woman gave birth to a baby who had the appearance of a non-Caucasian child. I'll let you read between the lines
Okay,
there. The
okay.
lawsuit reads, tragically, while both Jane and John Doe are Caucasian, baby Doe displayed the physical appearance of a non-Caucasian child. Of equal concern is the obvious possibility that someone else was implanted with one or more of their embryos and is presently parenting one or more of their children. Documents also reveal that the parents and their baby have formed a strong bond, and it continues to grow despite the baby not being genetically theirs.
I just want to let you know I was nowhere around. So
Thank you, James, for clarifying that.
it's not mine.
I have heard of where this kind of thing happens in a natural childbirth. I
Yes.
mean, very rare that it happens and that sort of thing. But for this, it kind of makes you wonder because it's IVF, meaning things were, artificially put in play. You know, I go down to nurture over nature. I mean,
Yeah.
I love that you finished the story saying that they are bonding together. I mean, you carried a child wherever it came from for 9 months. You have to have some kind of bonding, right?
Yeah, and then what do you do now that you have this baby that they believe is genetically not theirs? Biologically, she had the baby,
Yeah.
so it came out of her body, but genetically, it's not theirs. It's not from her eggs that she had stored at this IVF center, according to the couple. But I mean, I guess that's the big question. What happens if you find out the baby belongs to another couple? What do you do then?
Yeah, well, again, me as a parent, I wouldn't do nothing, and I would actually make sure my kid didn't know about it. However, that shows me that there's some negligence on the part of the hospital or something. So should there be a lawsuit? 100%. But if that happens, then that kid's going to know one day, well, I'm not really, my mom's, you'd have to understand it's kind of like an adoption kind of situation.
Complicated.
Very complicated.
Yeah.
I just want to tell you, as of 2023,
Uh-huh.
according to ChatGPT, 205 cases worldwide have been put in illegal and been going to court because of IVF.
Really?
Errors. Yes.
Because of
IVF errors and mix-up. Yep. 205 legal cases. As of
And you look at it like, I'm sure if you have IVF, you're really obviously more than likely having a hard time having a child. So once you have the child and that sort of thing, you got to be happy. But I don't know if that would that affect the way you look at the child? It's like, well, it's not really mine, but really it is. It was inside you. You know what I'm saying? And that's
Yeah.
why I go back to that nature nurture.
So would you consider yourself a surrogate? I mean, at that point,
In a sense, you would be, right?
I mean, the surrogates have obviously an attraction to the child because that surrogate carried the child.
Yes.
But then you have to give it away to the parents. You have to give it away.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you agree to be a surrogate
Right.
for somebody, you
Right.
do. But there
in
have
this
been.
situation too, I would say, I get it. You've carried the baby, but that's not your child.
Yeah,
And that's not fair to the other parents.
And I wonder what's happened to their embryos that they say should have been implanted in the woman. And
That means two people messed up.
That means two people messed up, and somebody else could be carrying their child. They don't know that for sure, but they're trying to figure that out.
And so then we go back to the cause, like, well, let the child grow up believing that. But now you don't know anything about, maybe what if the parent had cancer or something, like some kind of a gene? You don't know. You don't know who that is. So that child would always kind of grow up, you know, you couldn't be able to test your parents for like thyroid. I know that's a big thing that's happening all the time. But so I do feel that there's some kind of negligence going on too. And by the way, IVF is not cheap.
No, it's not.
At all. It's extreme. So you would think paying that kind of money
Yeah.
that these kind of precautions would be taking place.
I think that child should be taken care of for the rest of his life because that lawsuit would be pretty big.
Well, likely, I mean, I'm assuming that the parents and the child will be taken care of, but it does create this interesting dilemma of like what happens if you do find out who the real parents of that child are.
Right.
Do you give that child back to those
No,
parents?
yeah,
Do you keep the child?
Well, I mean, it's their child though.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
I
their
agree.
embryo.
I
mean,
feel-
it's their child. At that point, like I said, you're a surrogate.
Yeah.
So I think you should give the child away.
If I found out that somebody else had my child, you know, because of my embryos, and I didn't approve of that, and that was supposed to be for me, I would feel very conflicted, but I would also feel a sense of ownership, like that's my child.
Now, would you be conflicted if the child was older or if it's just a baby? Because I think when the child gets older, it goes back to what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's where you're kind of like,
yeah.
that's tough. When it's just a baby,
Yes.
it's like,
But
okay.
you know, okay, as a mom though, I mean, you ate well, you did everything, you housed this child
Yes.
for 9
Yeah.
months. You know?
That's
If you want to look at it that way,
Right.
And it goes to the people that say, you know, if you know, where does you know, I guess ownership is the only way you can say it because they're eggs. You know what I'm saying? But where does that end? Where does that start? What, you know, do you take possession of them once it goes inside you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then the other question is there some wording, you know, in the fine print that says mistakes could be made?
Hey, this could happen.
You know,
Probably.
in this day and age.
It's
in the-
happened before, probably.
Yeah,
You know?
right.
I would think, honestly, make them godparents. Give me my child back, and you can be the godparents.
The woman that birthed the baby
Yes.
could be the
Yep,
godparent.
the
Okay.
surrogate.
Well, a lot of people would prefer not to adopt because they want a child that is biologically and genetically theirs.
Yeah.
And I don't think that anybody should be faulted for wanting that desire.
right.
So I can understand the conflict that this couple's facing because, yes, they have this beautiful child, but it's clearly not theirs.
Right. It's tough. It is very, very
And
tough.
what
Like, where
about-
do you draw the line? It's
Yes.
tough.
And what about kids that are switched at birth, like at a hospital?
Yeah.
That happens too.
My dad always told me he got me at Ramada Inn because it said, he did, because it said kids free.
Shut up.
For the longest time, I thought I was from Ramada Inn.
The Ramada Inn. Do you ever remember the conversation asking your parents, like, how are babies made?
I do, yes. And my dad tried to explain it to me, and I could feel it being very, very awkward. I'm like,
Yeah.
I kind of get it, but I don't get it. I'll figure it out, Dad. kind
Yeah.
of thing. Interesting thing about that. And I think of it with my kids. I don't think I did. I think Raquel kind of
really?
taught them the birds and bees more.
Yeah.
Just because of being embarrassed, like don't
Yeah.
want to talk
Really?
to Dad about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I've talked to my son about it, but as far as me, I got it from my cousin. It was
Cousin,
Yeah.
weird. It was weird, but you know what? He gave you all the right advice.
Well, they had it. Now you have to add in there, well, when a mommy and daddy love each other very much, or when a mommy goes to a hospital and sometimes they put the baby inside of
Yes.
it, it's a whole new realm. And you
It's
might
like-
not get what you asked for.
I remember my mom telling me something about watermelon seeds. She's like, well, they're watermelon seeds and you ingest. And so for the longest time as a kid, I was afraid to eat watermelon because I was worried I was going to get pregnant.
I've heard that
Hey.
too.
Have you? Yeah.
Well, I remember saying you eat a watermelon seed and watermelon will go in your stomach.
Yeah.
I always
and I
thought
think that was the idea, like, you know, that little bump will grow out and it's a watermelon in your tummy.
It's a
Yeah.
hard decision.
It's
Yeah.
a hard conversation. to have.
Conversation.
I guess these days you can depend on YouTube to educate
Yeah.
your kids on all that stuff, so you don't have to have that awkward
They have
conversation.
access to
Or their cousins.
everything.
Or their
yeah,
cousins.
Right, one or the other.
How'd that
All
work
right.
out for you, James? How many
Hey,
kids?
I got 3.
They worked out. So, all right, tell us, you at home, we would definitely love to hear your thoughts on this. Who has the rights? What should be done?
Yeah.
Our email is flash@dailyflashshow.com. We're not done. We're getting started. We got Screen Chatter coming up. Shrinking. The new episodes are coming out on Apple TV. We'll be talking about that.
Streaming for the weekend, Mitch and I will share our picks for you. Today's talk, tomorrow's trends. But before we head to break, here's today's Brain Flash question.
All right. What sitcom is set in the fictional town of Pawnee, Indiana? Be thinking about that. We'll have the answer to that. You probably know what it is. Right around the corner. Stick around. You don't want to go anywhere. We got some Screen Chatter and a whole lot more coming up right here on Daily Flash. Again, our website always open for you, dailyflashshow.com. It's brand new. All kinds of great stuff on our site. Check it out.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. Let's see if you got today's Brain Flash question right. Here is the question. Which sitcom is set in the fictional town of Pawnee, Indiana?
I think I know this one.
All right, and the answer is
Parks and Rec?
and Rec.
Oh, it's time for us to check in with Tony Toscano to find out what's coming out of Hollywood and straight to your screen, no matter what size you're going to watch it on. With the latest, here's Tony.
Thanks, Mitch. Streaming on Prime is the horror thriller The Home. It stars Pete Davidson.
You saw how clean this place was coming in?
Yes, sir. Your job is to keep it that way.
And no fourth floor, darling. Those patients need special care. Off limits to you.
Max, a troubled man, starts working at a retirement home and realizes its residents and caretakers harbor sinister secrets. As he investigates the building and its forbidden fourth floor, he starts to uncover connections to his own past and upbringing as a foster child. I chatted with writer-director James DeMonaco.
You always hope that since you're layering the film with some socio-political commentary, you do without preaching. I hope it's not, you don't want to preach to the audience, but you hope that maybe it gets some people talking, sparks a little bit of debate about things. And we tried to do that with the Purge movies, and we're trying to continue that here. So hopefully we put some ideas out there for people to discuss.
Although Pete Davidson did a fine job, The Home is a predictable and uninspired mess. There's really not too much here to enjoy as the film just falls flat. Again, The Home is streaming on Prime and gets a D. It's rated R. Streaming on Apple TV Plus is the third season of Shrinking.
Life is going to keep demonstrating what you need most.
We've got great friends. It sucks that we're such good people.
Right?
Got a job that we love. It's a good life.
I know you want more.
Okay, bye, Jimmy.
Dude, how did you not ask her out?
Liz, you know I hate being spied on.
Hey, she's right though, man. That was painful.
What the hell?
I told you she liked him. Hey, got it. I got it.
Everybody, get out of my yard.
In Season 3, family dynamics are changing, shaking up relationships and pushing characters into messy new chapters while exploring life, loss, and the mess of healing with humor and heart.
Why do you think people love Shrinking?
I think people love Shrinking because it's a hangout show of found family. Like, it's people, overstepping boundaries and apologizing, and people being silly and loving each other and showing up for each other or letting each other down. Like, it's a very sort of found family vibe, and I think people want to know these people, or they feel like they're hanging out with them.
I think that she has been on a forgiveness journey these 3 seasons. We see her try and forgive Jimmy in the first season and forgiving Lewis in the second season. Also seeing her make mistakes of her own and learning how to ask for forgiveness in season 2. And I think by season 3, she's kind of maybe throwing the need of forgiveness out the window a little bit. She's just like, we're going, we're in movement, I'm moving out. I gotta find my independence.
Shrinking is one of the best comedies to stream, and Season 3 offers some of the best moments on any streaming service. Again, you can catch up to Seasons 1 and 2 of Shrinking streaming on Apple TV Plus now, and Season 3 begins next week. It gets an A and is rated TVMA. For the Daily Flash, I'm film critic Tony Toscano.
All right, listen, it doesn't matter if you've owned an iPhone since 2007 like Jackson here, maybe you're brand new to the Apple devices. There are, of course, dozens of things you probably don't even know that your iPhone can actually do. So Wirecutter released a list of some of the most fascinating tricks. You can use it from using it as a white noise machine to removing background flaws in photos. Other great ideas, check it out. You can identify plants or even animals. What you do is take a photo and look for the eye at the bottom of your screen. You can also ask Siri to read things to you. You can open up Safari and ask Siri to read or say you want to listen to a page. It can do just that. You can also, this is one I use a lot, schedule a text to send. Real simple to do. Just you have it send later. You tap the plus sign on the left side of the message. You'll see where it says send later. You can create gestures that you could trigger with your own voice. And some other great things you can do is copy or translate text with your camera. Use those 3 lines in the square. They're called the hamburger, if you will. Some people call them that, in the bottom right corner. And when you go to like Japanese or Chinese restaurants, it's really fun to read the signs and it's while you're waiting for the food. Here's something I didn't know. You can actually look up laundry care icons, take a photo of the tag, then hit the eye icon at the bottom of the screen. It'll tell you about that. You can keep people from snooping through your phone. Use guided access. It keeps your phone locked to just one app. Of course, screen time. If you're wanting to find out if you're spending too much time, you can do that on specific apps. And you can even share Wi-Fi passwords via QR code. Stand close to the other person, have them open up their Wi-Fi settings. Then on your device, you just hit share password. You can also go for your Wi-Fi. You can look on your iPhone to look for the network name and show the network QR code for them to scan. So all kinds of cool stuff you can do on there. Yeah. Transcribing stuff, memos. Here's something. You can actually record calls without downloading an app.
See, now how do you do this?
Okay, while you're on the call, you'll have options down there. One could be record the message. Now, it will say this is now being recorded. So you will know, because some states require that you have to know that. Basically, you tap on the More button on that phone app and then hit start recording. It'll let you know that you're doing that. Which is good. That way you know if you're on the other line, it's being recorded. But it's good for like maybe you're getting instructions from somebody. And you just, you don't want to have to repeat it.
It's interesting how technology is sort of really, it changes so quickly from year to year. Because I remember being in news, and you probably experienced the same thing. You want to record a phone call interview. Right. And it was such a hassle. Like you had to go through this elaborate setup to try and half the time it worked and half the time it didn't. Now you just hit record on your phone.
You hit a button, it'll say it's recording, they know it's recording. I don't know how often it tells you that it's being recorded, but it does say it at the beginning. Yeah, now we have it. And everything we need is right there on our phone. Everything we need is you, and we love having you here on the show.
Yeah, stay with us. DailyFlashShow.com if you want more information on any of the stories we're covering here today, or if you want to get in touch. We're back right after this.
Life Love Shopping is a weekly 30-minute lifestyle show hosted by Andrea Jackson. It's focused on the latest trends for your health, home, and happiness. Life Love Shopping offers viewers ways to improve their life and style, wellness, and relationships. If you live it, love it, or buy it, Life Love Shopping will talk about it.
We start today's show with the happiest jobs in America. A recent study found physical therapists take the top spot when it comes to job satisfaction.
Life Love Shopping, your life and style guide from A to Z.
All right. Welcome back to the Daily Flash. I'm your social media guru, James Alexander, a.k.a. Sweet Baby James.
All right, Sweet.
Here's your question of the day. What is a decision you're really glad you made? All right, just send me the answers on all our socials at dailyflashshow.com.
All right, James, thanks so much. I'd have to be a dad, but I wouldn't say I made the decision. I guess because, we didn't plan. We didn't plan any of our kids. But I'm so glad that I have kids.
I will say there were a couple of relationships with guys that I'm glad didn't work out. Those were some good decisions I made.
One thing, Jackson, is she broke up with a guy because he called him Snicky Snacks.
Yeah.
I remember that. And so I put that in my never call them Snicky Snacks.
Yeah. But so I'm it all worked out because of course, now I'm with Alan, so it all,
a great guy he is. Yeah, it's interesting. You think about that. Every decision you make will affect either good or bad or whatever. And guess what? It's a decision you made.
Yeah.
You stick with it, and if it was the wrong one, you'll know.
Well, the thing is about relationships too, it's like they're heartbreaking at the time, and you're like, how can I make this work? I really want to make this work. And then when you have some time for reflection and you look back and you're like, thank God that didn't work.
Aren't you? Yes. 100%. And Me being as immature, I think, as I am, I was just doing this yesterday, matter of fact, just thinking like of the stupid things I did and how I acted, and you're like, why did I do it? Anyway, so keep that in mind. We'd love to hear if you have any. James, of course, our social media host, is going to be monitoring all your calls. By the way, brand new thing on our website, you can leave us voice messages. You just hit the sound off button. You'll see it on to the side or up at the very top. Sound off.
If you've got a good breakup story.
That's what, oh my gosh, we love it.
Yeah.
We would love to hear it and share it here on the show. Let's jump into some trendy news stories around here. Looks like cruise passengers heading to Mexico may want to skip their e-cigarettes, or at least packing them up. The country now is enforcing a nationwide ban on vaping devices. New rules actually took effect last month. The new law authorized penalties for any activity involving e-cigarettes, vapes, or similar devices. Now, the crime is punishable up to 8 years in prison.
Oh my God.
Travelers who bring e-cigarettes into the country could be subject to enforcement when passing through customs. Now, Mexico has been tightening restrictions on smoking and vaping for several years. It's interesting to see Mexico actually doing that. There has to be something involved in that. Is the drug cartel missing out on the money? You have to think that, right?
It's okay to bring anything else into the country, but God forbid you vape.
Vape and
you're in prison.
Now 8 years in prison in a Mexican prison. What are you in for vaping? But there's got to be some kind of politics involved in that. It just seems like that is such a harsh thing for people to be put in jail for.
Yeah, I mean, I get trying to discourage people from doing it, but I think that might be taking it a step too far.
I think you're right. I honestly think they're losing money somewhere. There's more to that story. But keep that in mind. If you're going to Mexico, that could be a big, big deal.
Yeah, hard for them to justify throwing somebody in prison for 8 years for vaping, and yet other crimes seem to go. We'll get to that later. Yeah,
it's fine.
A Florida man was caught on video rescuing 2 toddlers who wandered into oncoming traffic. This story's crazy. John Brittingham was driving through Brevard County.
Look at this, y'all.
When he saw 2 toddlers wander right into a busy roadway. He scooped up the first toddler, who was right in the middle of the road. Then he waved at other drivers to slow down. As he grabbed the second one, he was able to get the girls back on the sidewalk within seconds of being hit by an oncoming car. However, parents nowhere in sight. John decided to go door to door in a desperate attempt to find their family. Eventually, the Good Samaritan knocked on an Airbnb rental with an elderly couple and a young girl. The family thanked John and apologized for losing sight of the 2 girls. He chose not to call the police because his focus was getting the toddlers back to their family.
All right, so we're all saying horrible parents here. Well, if that's the case, I'm a horrible parent because this exact same thing happened to me.
Did it really?
Yeah. Okay. So when I was in Alabama, we lived on kind of a semi-busy road, whatever, and it was like a fork, and our property was right there at the fork, right? And my second oldest was probably about this age, and it was Saturday morning, and I didn't hear him go outside. He opened up the door, walking out, and then I'm sitting there watching cartoons or whatever I'm watching on Saturday morning, literally in my underwear, and I get a knock on the door, and a lady holding Sawyer. I'm like, oh my gosh. And she goes, he was out in the middle of the road. And I go, oh my gosh. And it's that point forward, I'm always constantly looking. So you call me a bad parent, but it can happen.
It can happen.
It sounds like Airbnb situation, maybe that your mom might have slept in. Who knows? I don't know.
Kids are in a new locale, and kids are curious. They wander off. It just happens.
Good people like this gentleman who comes in and rescues. Love seeing that.
Yeah.
We have got more Flash coming up right around the corner. You are watching Daily Flash, or our website, dailyflashshow.com. It's waiting for you right now.
This is Daily Flash with Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Broadcasting worldwide and streaming. Daily Flash. Today's talk, tomorrow's trends.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mitch English.
And I'm Andrea Jackson. This is Daily Flash. Today's trends, tomorrow's talk. Before we do anything, let's check in with our stations across the nation. James Alexander, who is watching us out there, and where?
Yes, I know, right? So we're seen on 219 stations across this great country of ours. All social media channels, you can find us. Even go to our website at dailyflashshow.com. But today, our special local friend is KMOL-TV in Victoria, Texas.
Victoria.
Nice. There's some great things. Did you know that Victoria was founded in 1824 by Martin de Leon?
Any
Okay.
relation to Ponce?
I don't know about that.
Leon.
That would be great. That would be great. The city was originally named Guadalupe, Victoria, in honor of the first president of the Republic of Mexico.
Okay.
And is also known as the City of Roses.
Oh,
Roses?
how about that? City of Roses.
Victoria, Texas. I've heard of
Victoria,
it. I'd
Texas.
love
Me
to go check it
too.
out. Yes, sir. KMOL, we welcome you, of course, to Daily Flash family. All right, everybody saw the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Lackluster commercials, in my opinion.
Yes.
It wasn't really that kind of stood out.
The Budweiser commercial with the Clydesdale and the Eagle. Come on.
That rocked. And that was the only one that I was like,
And the Lay's potato chip commercial with the father and the daughter. Do you remember
oh,
that
where
one?
they
yeah,
grow the
yeah.
potato. She's like, or he's handing the farm over
to her. Yeah, I like
You
that
didn't like
one.
the Pepsi one?
Which
Where
one?
they called out Coca-Cola Bears?
Oh, the polar
thirsty
bears.
for Pepsi?
That was interesting. I was like, how
Like,
did they?
ooh, shots fired.
I miss those rivalries because back in the 70s, 80s, there was
Yes.
a huge rivalry.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the Taste Test Challenge.
it the Pepsi
Challenge?
Yeah.
Right? So, well, one commercial that had everybody talking, that was Amazon Ring doorbell. Remember this one?
Oh, yeah.
We'll play it here for you. It's basically a little girl, she lost her dog, and she gets the dog. She's, so happy, and then it's lost. And so, don't worry, Ring is here to save us. Now, we all know about the doorbells, Ring's
Yeah.
doorbells. I even have one.
Yeah.
Well, they played this commercial and people started freaking out, saying, wait a minute, you mean you can tap into our rings and find dogs and that sort of thing? So Ring, or Amazon has come out and said, listen, we're stopping this. They work with a company called Flock Safety. Now, Flock Safety is the same company that these cops use for license plate reading.
Okay.
And it uses kind of like the same technology. And basically, I want you guys to think of your Apple tag that you can get, those $25 Apple tags. And if I ever lose my phone or my Apple tag, it basically borrows your frequency that you're near it. Everybody familiar with how it works?
Yeah,
This is basically the same way. It just takes this area of where people might have Ring doorbells, and if it sees a dog on there, it will send it up and go, hey, this is a dog that's a Labrador that is missing.
So it's like a license plate reader, but for dogs.
For dogs, for pets,
Okay.
right. They didn't say anything about cats, by the way, so keep that in mind. So they go, everybody starts freaking out, thinking, all right, this is a dystopia. What do you mean? Now you can look at our Ring doorbells? And they said, we're going to drop it. And they said the partnership with Flock Safety was never fully launched. No customer video, this is what they said. No customer video was ever shared, but privacy groups still are pretty concerned. Now, I disagree. I can't buy that nothing was shared because they just did a commercial.
Yeah.
They had to try it out, right?
Yeah.
Now, you can opt into this. It's just like, if you want to help, use your Ring to help other people.
To help other people, sure.
And I believe we were talking about this a few weeks ago about finding the Charlie Kirk's shooter. They were using Ring cameras. So people, you can't pick and choose. If you're going to be able to use that, you have to actually opt in, or if the police say, hey, can we look at your Ring camera, you can hand it out. Would you guys be afraid?
Well, the Savannah Guthrie case, her
There's
mother,
another good
Nancy,
point.
is another great example
I'm glad
of
you brought that up.
we should not get too relaxed in having these cameras in our home because you're fooling yourself if you don't think they're recording 24/7, regardless of whether the clip shows up on your phone or not. They have access to all of that video.
They say it's like temporary, but it's still, they have access to it.
Yeah.
I just selective anger because you have Alexa in your house.
That's a good
listens.
point.
You're right.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, this is a great idea, especially when they have different things happening with children.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see people changing their
Yes.
ideas on it. So
Right.
good point. What do you think? Good idea or not? Let us know. More protein under the arches. We'll be talking about that. Stick around. You're watching Daily Flash.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. We are so happy to have you with us.
Yep.
We've got some trending stories for you right now. The world's oldest snowball will celebrate 50 years
What?
frozen in time. Yes, the snowball was created by a 15-year-old on February 5th, 1976 in San Jose, California. When the snow began to melt, the teen, who is now 64, grabbed a handful and put it in the freezer. Never imagined it would still be around 50 years later. It remained tucked away in the back of the family freezer for decades. Over time, the snowball has changed, forming ice crystals and softening into more of a snow blob than a snowball.
Interesting, and I wonder, like, if scientists ever got that, like, it would tell you basically the atmospheric conditions from back then, if you think about that. So there's probably some science involved in that, but even still, it's just some ice that somebody's kept. I hear the way that we move around as humans now. I
Yes.
mean, obviously it stayed in the family freezer, but to keep it, you would like if let's say they moved around a lot, he would have to continue to keep it frozen in transit as well as wherever you get into the new freezer. So
My question is, what else is in the family freezer?
That's true.
If a frozen
Who else?
snowball from 50 years ago is still in that freezer, who or what else is in that freezer?
I wonder if you could prove it, but I guess we have to take the guy's word for it. All right, looks like there's more options when you're out going and doing your fast food restaurant.
This is true, yes. McDonald's is looking to cater to customers who are taking weight loss drugs, and the name of the McGame is protein. The fast food giant has been testing high protein menu items for customers on those GLP-1
What's that
drugs.
sign for?
I'm not sure. It looks like it was blown away during a
it was
storm.
so odd.
New options could include grilled chicken strips or nuggets. Don't they already have grilled chicken
Yes.
nuggets?
Yeah, it's chicken nuggets, but what they're made from, I guess, is
Okay.
the same. They haven't really changed it. I think that this goes along with it. They're just
Got
saying,
it.
hey, you want protein? Chicken has protein in it.
Cauliflower tortillas instead of wheat or corn at McDonald's.
Okay.
Smaller burgers with a lettuce wrap. Doctors advise their weight loss patients to eat lots of protein to avoid muscle loss. The number of Americans taking drugs like Ozempic, Wegovy, and Mounjaro for weight loss has more than doubled over the past year and a half. Apparently that McDonald's sign has been taking Wegovy.
No kidding, man. It's lost like I'm guessing that's like at one of those truck stops.
It looks like
that's
it.
what it looks like. Okay, they're not the only ones. Even Starbucks, they're pushing this protein.
The protein latte or whatever it is.
Latte.
Yes.
Dunkin' is doing this exact same thing. And so they realize that. They realize, okay, how can we make it sound like you're getting what you need? Obviously, it's something like, well, our chicken has protein in it. I do like that maybe the cauliflower ideas. I think that's kind of nice. But even still, you're eating fast food, so keep that in
I'm
mind.
not going to McDonald's for cauliflower tortillas, though, friend.
No,
I'm just
not at all. Right.
I'm not.
And so, but they know some people will, and maybe if you're like, well, I guess they can get their protein there, but not to say what else is coming along with all the breading and all the deep fried oil and everything you're putting it in.
Well, because everybody thinks, oh, I'll have the chicken Caesar salad. Well, do you know how many calories are in a
Look
chicken
at it.
Caesar salad? You're better off eating a cheeseburger. I just find it so funny that, they're thinking, are they trying to repackage what they're already selling with
think-
maybe a few new elements?
It's a spin. That's all it is. It's a
Okay.
spin on it. Right when you said that, I was thinking when I went to this restaurant a couple weeks ago and it said fried chicken salad. And so I was like, oh, that's interesting. How do they deep fry a salad? Like, I couldn't get past. And they're like, no, it's not like that. And I go, oh, it's chicken salad that's fried. Like, I could not put on the confidence.
fried chicken
is
on
inside
a
the
salad.
Right. And then when I had that moment, like, oh, it's fried chicken on top of salad, which doesn't seem like it should go because it's fried and salad's supposed to be healthy.
Yes.
That's what I think about the McDonald's.
Yeah.
Same difference.
We love McDonald's.
Absolutely.
Coca-Cola and fries.
You can't beat it. More Flash after this coming up.
For generations, mankind has depended on one sacred device, the home television. A portal to laughter, heartbreak, and that one weird British baking show you swore you'd only watch once. But after 5 long days of labor, housework, and endless carpool lines, one question still haunts humanity.
What do you binge this weekend? Fear not, the experts are here. Join Daily Flash every Friday for Streaming for the Weekend. Because life's too short for bad TV. Streaming for the Weekend every Friday, only on Daily Flash.
Streaming for the weekend. Interesting stuff there. All right, in 2025, Toyota reported overall sales were up 8% with 30 different electric options. Almost half of their sales volume was made up of Toyota and Lexus EVs. Cool stuff.
Tonight, Highlander's story adds a new chapter.
Striking style, everyday versatility, and battery electric efficiency. That's the all-new 2027 Toyota Highlander. With a stunning new look inside and out and seating for up to 7, the latest Highlander is the all-electric Toyota built to carry your entire crew. It is also Toyota's first 3-row battery electric vehicle for the U.S. market and the first all-electric vehicle assembled in America.
We are super excited about this vehicle. It's got room for 7, great for families, all battery electric power. This product is absolutely a stunner in styling. really roomy inside, high-tech features.
This diversified approach allows Toyota to adapt to changing consumer preferences and EV adoption curves, specifically focusing on strengthening hybrid sales while scaling up battery manufacturing for future demand.
If you look at the way the product platform has evolved over the last few years, almost everything has some level of electrification, some level of hybridization in most cars, and some, of course, the model lines are purely hybrid right now, which means it's the logical point in time for Toyota to start building out its battery electric side of the portfolio.
The 2027 Highlander joins the Toyota BZ, BZ Woodland, and CHR models as the fourth BEV in Toyota's lineup.
For example, here is the 2026 Toyota BZ Woodland, the all-electric Toyota that's made for life in the great outdoors. With a standard all-wheel drive and 375 horsepower combined system output.
Altogether, Toyota will soon offer 22 different models equipped with electrified powertrains.
They've covered every single segment and subsegment of the crossover market. So clearly, they see room for another.
The 2027 model kicks off the model's fifth generation and carries forward Highlander's push to continually evolve its style, everyday usability, elevated comfort, and efficiency. This approach has proven successful, with electrified vehicles, including hybrids, representing roughly 50% of total sales value in some periods of 2024 and 2025. Sales of the new Highlander are expected to begin later this year, continuing into early 2027, with prices to be announced closer to the sale date. In Ojai, California, this is Jasmine Simpkins.
KBIS, it's the largest kitchen and bath expo in North America. It's in Orlando this year. Home design expert Kelly Edwards joins us from the LG booth with the hottest trends and the must-see innovations from the show.
We are here at the LG booth at KBIS showcasing two stunning kitchen collections from the new LG Signature lineup. The LG Signature is all about smarter living, elevating everyday appliances with refined design, intuitive innovation, and effortless integration that will enhance your home without drawing attention to the technology itself. Now, the first off is the Iconic collection. Now, this pairs timeless design with intelligent performance. The 36-inch Gas Pro range features top-tier cooking performance with powerful heat for faster boiling and perfect searing, along with versatile oven modes for baking, roasting, and air frying. Smart connectivity through the ThinQ app allows you to monitor meals right from your phone, which gives you more confidence in the kitchen. An Iconic refrigerator gives you that built-in custom look without renovation, thanks to zero clearance hinges, 45% thinner insulated doors, and counter depth max design. It offers generous storage, includes flexible temperature drawer, and even makes 3 types of ice: craft ice, mini craft ice, and crushed ice for entertaining. Now, if you prefer more of a streamlined design, the Seamless collection offers clean integration. The Seamless over-the-range microwave blends right in with a smudge-resistant finish, features air fry and air sous vide capabilities, smart cooking support, and automatically adjusts ventilation while you cook. The Seamless dishwasher disappears into the cabinetry, but delivers powerful cleaning, flexible loading, and spotless results. No pre-rinsing required. Now together, the Iconic and Seamless lines from LG Signature combine beautiful design and smart features to elevate everyday performance.
This one will go, how did you not know, right?
I don't buy these stories.
I don't either.
I'm sorry.
Let me tell you about it. It's a British backpacker. She goes traveling around Australia, and she got the shock of her life when she caught what she thought was a stomach bug and then ended up delivering a baby. The 21-year-old was on a 6-month adventure with her boyfriend when she started to feel a little sick. Doctors performing an ultrasound discovered the real cause of her illness was because she was in labor. And despite the shock of the sudden news, she gave birth to a very healthy baby girl. How you don't know that? I need to know. Tell me how you, that wasn't a stomach bug, it was you morning sickness, right?
First off, congratulations.
Yeah, okay.
So happy she had a healthy baby girl and that they're celebrating that new life together. I had a friend of mine who had a baby and ended up finding out she was pregnant again 3 months after
Oh,
having
like
a
an
baby.
Irish
twins.
twins.
And she didn't know she was pregnant. And she was running and trying to get her body back in shape. And she was like, I couldn't figure out why I felt so sluggish. And I was running every day. And then I went back to the doctor. She was 5 months pregnant at this point
Holy cow.
with their second child and had no idea. So when they told her, she was shocked. Now, she didn't end up thinking she just had a stomach bug and delivered a
Right.
baby. She did find out, but I give her a little latitude because she had just had a baby. So her body is all kind of confused and messed up. And then, she finds out she's pregnant.
Having never been pregnant or anything like that, so I wouldn't know, but I would imagine like, okay, well, for the past 5 months, I've been feeling this way.
Yeah.
I'm still feeling this way after I could totally buy into that. But, and I know, and I'm not pointing out or fat shaming, a lot of times when people don't know, or when ladies they're usually overweight and they don't notice the weight gain, I guess.
Right.
And I'm not picking on them, but she looked like she was in pretty decent
great
shape.
shape.
And I would hope she didn't know if she was going to go on a 6-month adventure in the middle of Australia, right?
Yeah.
You kind of hope that that's the case. Or is she doing, I don't want anybody to think how ignorant I am to go do this. They don't let you get on planes when you're 9 months pregnant.
Or did she know she was pregnant and she thought, well, I'll just go to Australia and have a baby. And
Then
see
no one would know.
Yeah, then no one would know.
I
And
can buy
then
into
my
that.
child has, I don't know if they give you dual citizenship in Australia if you have a child
Dude,
there or not.
That's a good point.
Maybe there was an angle to this whole thing and she's just pretending like she got, look at us, like figuring out all sorts
Well,
of
yeah, we're the little sleuths here.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're going to hear more about this story. I just can't understand it, but I guess weirder things happen.
I'm sorry, I just don't buy that.
I'm with you on that. Welcome back to Daily Flash. Let's find out what you need to binge watch this weekend. We got streaming for the weekend. Jackson, what do you got?
Oh, I'm hooked on a new show called The Beauty on FX starring Ashton Kutcher.
Every night I pray for your death.
Can we play some yacht rock?
I got the beauty shot!
Is this real life? One simple injection to become a beauty.
Are there side effects?
Even though it's all about the surface and beauty, there are so many layers to this show that's fascinating with regard to our current culture and social media and how we look. And Ashton Kutcher plays a great villain in this show.
Is this a mini or a limited series?
Limited
Okay,
series,
so check that out. All right,
Mhm.
this sounds fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I could see with the aspects of what goes on with the social media, how everybody can be included in
And the Demi Moore movie, I can't think of the name of it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
but it's similar to that in its grotesqueness and its horror. So it's sort of a drama horror thriller.
That's interesting. 'Cause
Yeah.
they used to be together. They used to be
Oh,
a couple.
that's right.
Maybe they shared notes.
Maybe.
Who knows? All right. If you thought the first season was intense, season 2 of The Pit turns up the pressure and does not let off.
Ooh,
Smart,
boy.
dark, and absolutely worth your binge. It's streaming now on HBO Max. The Pit.
This is severe.
Dr. Robovich is basically, he's still ready to go on his sabbatical.
That's the Noah Wiley character?
Noah Wiley character, and he's a motorcyclist. He refused to wear a helmet, which is, he says he relates that to Willy Wonka, where he wanted him to have a lot of surprises.
Oh,
Interesting.
okay.
That does it for our show. Thank you so much for spending time with us.
Yes, for more information on any of today's stories, be sure to visit dailyflashshow.com. We will see you right back here, same time, same place.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Be good.
Have a good weekend.